Don't cause ruckus. We talking that talk, just spitting them facts. We setting them traps and cracking them bags. Yeah. We got all the news, we know all the stories. Yeah. We start from the bottom, rise up to the glory. Yeah. We say what your local reporters can't say. Yeah. We break down the X's and O's on the play. It's AJ, King, Con, and Jose. Ruckus. We call it right on the first take, and they love us. Yeah, we the best when it comes to sports debate. Find the podcast and let it play. If we get you in your feelings, that's okay. AJ and Jose send you on your way like, bruh, don't cause a ruckus.
We just call it how we see it, big bro. And that we will always do.
What's up, Internet? Welcome to Don't Khahs a Ruckus, your favorite debate show. You just don't know it yet. I am your host, Jose Ruckus, and joining me, as always, is my rival and good friend, AJ Khah. What's up, AJ?
What's up, Jose? We also have another guest this week.
Yes,
I'm very excited to introduce Kyle Goodbee, also known as the Kegbot.
Yo, what's good with y'all? You know, I already know what time it is. It's Kyle G, a.k.a. Kegbot, back at it like we never left. Come on now. It's another great night.
Kyle, a lot of people probably know you, one of the great players defensively for the FCF last season. What have you been up to since the season's got over, man?
Oh, man. Look, ever since the season stopped, my grind never stopped. So I'm still in the gym, still working out, still getting better, still doing things I possibly can to become better. I got actually here in Ohio, one of the best places to go to is called Club 7. Shout out to Club 7 and the brand. These guys are amazing. They've been getting me right with my not only field work, footwork, strength and conditioning. Even FCF has still been sending me some stuff like Coach Ruiz, my guy. Shout out Coach Ruiz. He's my guy. So he's been definitely getting me right in the gym, getting me bigger and stronger and faster. Shout out Big BTO Gaming, man, out here in Youngstown. Just signed with them. So we got a gaming company / film studio. So I'm watching film on Sundays. Great way to stay in contact with football. But besides that, man, I'm just been training and working.
That's sweet, man.
So, any prospects outside of the FCF that you want to talk about? Like, are you trying to get into another league? Because I personally, as one of the owners of the teams, my goal is to get every single player on the Apes into another league that's bigger, get them better opportunities. That's all I want for my guys. Shout out to DeAndre getting that, XFL quarterback start. We'll talk more about that later. But tell us what you've been up to, man. Any tryouts, anything you want to talk about? Or are you looking forward to the FCF maybe return? Because that's what I'm hoping, because you're one of my favorite players. Talk about it, man. What's going on?
All right, so actually, I'm actually excited for that season 3 for FCF. Come on now, let's be honest. The way everything transpired last year, I was very sad that my team lost first round. So we got to come back with a vengeance. Now, with that being said, of course, I'm still open to anything that comes my way. So CFL, XFL, USFL, anything that comes my way, if God gives it, I'm going to take my chances and my shots. But for a fact, we 100% know Kegbot has not left the building fully yet.
Nice. See, I'm excited to see you return, man. Personal favorite player.
Thank you. I'm gonna tell my mom later.
There it is. Yes.
All right, guys. Well, yeah, it's a sports debate show, so let's get to the actual debate part of the show. So tomorrow's Thursday Night Football. It's going to be Packers and Titans. We spent a while talking last week about the Packers and how they were bad, and of course, that means that they won last week. So, Kyle, let's start with you because me and AJ kind of gave a lot of our Packers takes. Thursday Night Football, Titans, Packers. Who you got?
I'm not going to lie to you. Listen, it's a really good matchup. I mean, Packers coming off a great win. A-Rod's doing his thing. He threw for 70%, last week. 14 for 20, over 3 touchdowns, over 200 yards. I mean, both the backs combined for over 200 yards. Come on, they had a great game. And you're talking about against the Cowboys, which were 6-2 last week. So one of the top contenders in the league. Come on now, getting a big win like that is amazing. So coming off that high to the next week would be amazing. But you can't forget about, come on now, King Henry. There's not too many other 6'7" backs in the backfield out there. It's like my boy Cardinal. He's just it's not too many of them. Running that ball like that. He's second in rushing yards in the league. it's going to be a good game, but I got to go with A-Rod.
You going Packers on this one? That's interesting.
Got to go Packers. Got to go Packers.
I think I'm going to fade the Packers this week just because, like, one, I still don't think that team's particularly good. I think the Cowboys got a bit of a, they got fooled a little bit. They didn't come prepared the way that they should have been. The Titans defense is pretty good this year, especially at they've been controlling running teams pretty decently and stuff, which is sort of what Green Bay's strength is right now. They have two really, really good running backs. The receiving core there starting to come together. Rodgers had a pretty good game, probably his best game of the year so far last week. So it's hard to tell. Really, the question comes down to whether the Titans quarterback situation, whether they're going to be able to get any kind of offense going without Derrick Henry. I still sort of think their defensive performance is going to be better, so I'm going to go with the Titans this week. AJ, what do you think?
I don't know, guys. Like it's kind of wild, especially when you look at the injury report that's going on. Like both teams have a ton of players that are on the injury report so far, including Derrick Henry. So for me, honestly, if Ryan Tannehill is on there too, I mean, that's kind of nuts to think about. So, Vegas odds are saying Packers are going to take it. With Derrick Henry hurt, but it's not injury related, I don't understand what that means. I'm really just gonna go with let's say I'm surprised that Aaron Rodgers pulled it out last week. I think he's gonna do it again. I haven't really been overwhelmed with the Titans play this year. They haven't done anything like positive really in my mind. I feel like it's definitely one of those situations where if Derrick Henry's on the field, they may have a good game. If he's not, they're not. So I sometimes it's just as simple as that. But Jose had a fair point. Their defense has been on point this year, but like injuries is one thing you can't really get over. It's difficult to play a game, especially with a ton of men down. It's hard to do it one man down, especially someone as important and as offensive heavy, like focused as the King Henry. But when Ryan Tannehill, you're like starting quarterback is like ankle and limited in practice, it's not a good sign. It's never a good sign when your quarterback's hurt. So
that's true. I've liked Malik Willis. I actually was kind of hoping the Seahawks might take a flyer on him in the last draft. Like I think he's a really talented quarterback, but so far this year, like the things we're seeing from him, he's not like a pro-ready quarterback right now, or at least like the team's not ready for the skill set that he has. His passing ability just hasn't really been there. So like, yeah, if Tannehill's not in there right now, it's hard to kind of give the Titans a chance just because their offensive production's been so bad when he's not there.
Mm-hmm. And as a chip on that, Jose, I'm not gonna lie to you. Last week, Nick, I think it was his name, Nick Westbrook, had a freaking amazing game. He was 5 receptions for over 100 yards. So I'm not gonna lie to you. Before I watched the game, I didn't know who Nick Westbrook was. So no disrespect to Nick Westbrook if you're in here. I'm sorry, I love you to death. But with that being said, it's like we know who's getting the ball. It's King Henry. Ryan Hansfield was 19 for 36 last week. It's just not cutting it to be that type of quarterback, that type of caliber to play up and coming Aaron Rodgers and come on now. Like it's just Nick Westbrook. If he can have more games like that, then we can see some things and some consistency. But once this is the first game he ever had over 5 catches. So
you can tell that the Titans are really missing AJ Brown. Like obviously, like they weren't going to be able to afford that extension. The Ryan Tannehill contract has really kind of like put them in a bad position in the Derrick Henry contract. But like Derrick Henry is still playing at a high level, so that's not that big of a deal. But like not being able to, they got some picks out of him or whatever, trading him over to the Eagles. But just like not having that big weapon, and you see how much the Eagles have flourished this year with AJ Brown. There, they finally got their first loss this week on Monday. But like having that kind of a playmaker in your offense just really kind of changes the game for you. It's the Titans are definitely missing that. All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap up our Thursday Night Football talk. You're going to figure out who's right. These guys got the Packers. I got the Titans. I'm the odd man out on this one, and I'm not super confident about my pick. But
I talked you down, didn't I?
The more we're getting into it, the more we're talking about them. You know what? Maybe I'm wrong. I think I might be wrong on this one. But we got some news stories coming in this next one. This one really caught my eye when I saw it the other day. And it struck out to me when I was watching the 49ers play over the weekend. Christian McCaffrey did not get as many carries as Elijah Mitchell. Elijah Mitchell carried the offense for a decent portion of the game. And Kyle Shanahan on Monday came out and said that he plans for the rest of the season, Christian McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell, they're going to be splitting carries in this backfield. The 49ers just spent everything they had left to bring in Christian McCaffrey. He's supposed to be the piece that puts them over the edge. And now they're talking about him being a guy who splits carries. AJ, what do you think about that?
I mean, let's be real. I was really excited. We talked about this when they traded for him. I was excited to see him. I thought that now the 49ers offense was arguably the most potent offense in all of the NFL. And to see McCaffrey have to be splitting his carries to me is kind of just a letdown. As a fan of football, I think it's one of those things where, like, we talked about this again. If he's healthy, give the man the ball. He's proven that he's got the ability to get the ball in the end zone. Keep it going. Like, I don't see the point. If it's for now, let's put it this way. If it's for the argument of, hey, let's extend those legs, let's keep it going so we can have them ready to play in the playoffs, that's another argument. I can get behind that. But if it's just to split the carries, just to split the carries, and this is somebody who has the guy who's actually going to be taking those carries away from him on his fantasy football list, in his team. That would help me tremendously because my season is sucking. But at the same time, to me, if you need the wins, keep the ball in his hands, man. Like that is just simple math. I feel like it.
Well, I mean, if you want to look at it right here, we got I got the stats up. So Mitchell had 18 carries, Christian McCaffrey had 14, so decently evenly split. Elijah Mitchell averaged 4.9 yards a carry. Christian McCaffrey averaged 2.7. So in this game, at least, they were better off giving the ball to Elijah Mitchell than they were Christian McCaffrey. Kyle, what do you think about this?
I'm not gonna lie to you, Elijah Mitchell. I feel to me he's more of a downhill runner. Now, watching Christian McCaffrey's game, and especially with him getting hurt so many times, we understand that Christian McCaffrey is definitely a backfield mismatch. He's one of the best backs when it comes to running routes and catching the ball, stuff like that. So when it comes to him doing that, I'd rather him be my possessive running back. I don't really want him running downhill against, Tremaine Edmonds or freaking Devin Bush or Patrick Queen. I'm not looking for that from you. I'm looking for, hey, it's third down, it's second and long. I need you to get me 6-7 yards from a nice swing out the back, make somebody miss, make a guy miss, be a mismatch, and after that, let's keep running it down their throat with Elijah Mitchell. So with that being said, I'm not gonna lie to you. Plus, he's new in the offense. He was just traded there not too long ago. So understanding the play call, understand what's going on, especially in 2-minute offense, stuff like that. Like there are some times that the 49ers love to play the 2-minute drill, even in. They'll play hurry up offense every once in a while. It's hard to come from a different system to a new system and just pick up immediately new play call, new play style, stuff like that. But I think personally, my fault, AJ. I love you to death. I love you to death. But him splitting carries, I don't think it should be a problem, especially when playoffs. If they make it to the playoffs, he'll be seeing a lot more action.
I think right now I think it has a lot to do with the system that they run. The 49ers run a zone running system, which is a complicated system. It's hard to learn. McCaffrey isn't super familiar with it. And if you look at what the Dolphins just went through, the Dolphins started the season out with an abysmal run game. And then over the trade deadline, they went and got Jeff Wilson, who is familiar with the zone run scheme because Mike McDaniel, former run coordinator for the 49ers, all of a sudden the Dolphins have an elite run game now, just by bringing in a guy more familiar with the system, being able to recognize where the holes are getting created, being able to take advantage of that. Christian McCaffrey, it's going to take him a while to learn those things. And you're also seeing them use him a lot as a decoy. He's able to draw defenses in weird ways and stuff because he's a guy who you really need to defend. I think it's smart to have this guy splitting carries for the rest of the season at least. The problem is that you spent so much to get this guy that it kind of hurts that he just can't be the elite running back right out the gate.
Yeah. I mean, as Kyle was talking, he convinced me enough to go pick him up on my other fantasy league. So I have him in both leagues now. Now I got to just start him at the right time.
Wait, you didn't have him on your fantasy?
I had him on one league. I'm in 3 fantasy leagues. Okay, I'm a commissioner of one. I checked to see if he was available in another one because you guys convinced me, and I'm like, yeah, well, why not?
Military style, baby.
I can't do more than 2 fantasy leagues anymore.
Yeah.
I gotta stick to 2 because I'm a tinkerer. I like to know exactly what's going on my team and stuff. I can't be getting that deep into leagues.
So I have one league that I've had, I think, for like 5 years, six years, and we have a championship belt that we send to whoever's the winner, and then they engrave it them like however they want. So and there's like money involved. So that I'm a commissioner of that one. That's the one that means the most to me. And then I have another one with just like all like, FCF fans and like the apes and stuff. So it's just like that one I don't care nearly as much. I let my fiance take control of that. She actually drafted the team, did a good job. I'm just the one that's like, all right, you gotta set the lineup. Gotta set the lineup. So it's kind of, we're both managing it, but hey, it's one of those things where and the third one was just for NFTs, and then that became a whole nother thing that I don't want to talk about. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that one.
Yeah.
Crypto's bad. It's
AJ,
bad
you're talking
now.
about drafting teams and you're talking about Bored Apes. Let's get into our next topic, man, because the XFL draft has been happening over the last 2 days. A lot of Bored Apes finding, and guys AJ has a history with, finding their place in this league. I was going to talk about, who we think won the draft, who's having the best draft right now. I think everybody here already knows what AJ's answer is going to be, so let's just let AJ talk.
Yeah, I think out of the XFL draft, I'm really excited to see the Guardians. Like, and this hurts me to say because I don't like any Orlando team ever, except for when Tracy McGrady was on the Magic, and even then, I didn't like the Magic. I just liked Tracy McGrady. So for me to say Orlando, it hurts me, especially because like they're also a former New York team, so it's like two cities I don't like combining into one mega city that I don't like. But it has 2 people that I really love on that team right now. Actually, 3 if you think about it. They had a great draft today. I think they did awesome. I also think whoever's running that offense and coach loved the FCF because it kind of shows with who they drafted. They got Francois, great quarterback.
Yeah.
Don't know who their other quarterback is. I should look into it. I was too mystified by DeAndre up there looking great and professional. But to have Andrew go in the second round and then have them pick up Pat Smith later on, I think that is a potent offense. I feel like they can air that out very easily. Now it's just a matter of who they get as the offensive line and give DeAndre time. I know that he has the ability to run out of a pocket, but I feel like the XFL is a different league. It's not the FCF. He needs to be able to show that arm strength that he has, and he's shown before, especially when he was in college. So I think he has the ability to and the weapons to do it. So I'm really excited for Orlando. Having said that, the Roughnecks also did very well with their draft, having picked up Bryson Allen and Cedric Bird. But there's a bunch of other good people out there. And
yeah, I'm a huge Bryson Eileen fan. I think that guy's just super talented. I think I really like that the Roughnecks picked that guy up. They also picked up Brandon Silvers, who was extremely briefly in the FCF, if you remember.
I just got to say this. Am I the only one that's like praying to the FCF gods, The Rock, that Cecil Cherry gets drafted to any other team but the Roughnecks, even though that's the perfect name for a team for Cecil to be on? I just want him to not be on that team for obvious FCF fan reasons.
Yeah, it's hard, like, because I don't know too many of these guys. We have to have like Freddie Airmail break out the spreadsheets and tell us which of these guys had the best college games playing in D3 or whatever, because Freddie watches apparently every single D3 game. But I think the thing that it really excited me about this draft was how many guys from the FCF are getting picked up, and that they're actually like, like the Andrew Jamil and DeAndre Francois getting paired together. Because when FCF guys have gotten picked up by other leagues, guys like Travis Toivonen, or any of these other guys, there's always been like people being like, oh, well, the FCF, they weren't watching the FCF. They had a good spring league tryouts or whatever. That's why they got picked up into these leagues. Those two guys getting put on a team together tells me for sure people are out there. They're watching the FCF. They're seeing how good these guys are playing in the FCF, and they're getting these guys in drafts now. That excites me a lot. It's definitive proof now. Kyle, man, have you been paying attention to the draft? Who you think's got a good draft?
Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna have to go with AJ with this one, and go with Orlando Guardians. As much as it's gonna pain me to say this, I've played against the Bored Apes in the playoffs. I've seen what these guys' abilities are. AJ, Andrew Jamil, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, might be one of the toughest people to guard when it comes to the slot. There's not too many people that I can see that can get out of the break as fast as he can, run his route as fast as he can, with for sure hands, and is willing to get you the extra yards. DeAndre Francois, I'll never forget. I had a play blitz up the middle, and Francois didn't even see me coming. I'm about to tackle him in for safety, and quarterback instincts popped up. He does a rollout. Never seen a guy run that fast before in my life besides Johnny Manziel. Might be a little bit over the top, but I'm gonna tell you what I saw because I played it. But not a lot of you. Orlando looking really good. Now I did see my guy Martavis Bryant. He just got picked up by the Vipers. So
He did. Indeed.
I gotta see. I don't even know who their quarterback is. Is it AJ? Is AJ McCarroll?
No, they have Jalen McClellan and Luis Perez are their quarterbacks.
Luis Perez wasn't that bad in USFL. He was doing pretty good down there. So I would like to see that connection for sure. I don't know if Terrence got picked up yet, but I would like to see who a team drafts him. He was a great receiver for the FCF as well. Love to see that as well. But Orlando right now has my top pick only because those two great guys right there. Now Bryson Ling is a great run down the hill ball, run down the hill back. Even though he's like 5'6", 5'7", man, he runs like he's like 6 feet. Dude's a truck. So, but I'm gonna go Orlando. I'm gonna have to stick with AJ on this one, and I'm gonna have to go side with AJ and say Orlando.
These arguments are not as like much of an argument when you have a third person because you're just like, yeah, now we're just like kicking someone as they're down. It's not fair. Like, I like it, but it's also I feel like we're ganging up on somebody, which I don't like. But
I'll tell you what. Another player I'd like to shout out is the Seattle Sea Dragons picking up Ben DiNucci, former Dallas Cowboys. He got one start in the league. But Ben DiNucci, I follow him on Twitter and stuff, and he just seems like a really good guy. And there was enough there to get the guy into the NFL. So there's got to be a decent amount of talent level. So I'm excited to see guys get more chances. And so Ben DiNucci, shout out. I rooted for the Sea Dragons in the previous XFL. I'll be rooting for them again this time.
That's great name. And before we move on, I gotta say this: isn't it nice to see that like the fans of the FCF we saw DeAndre and Andrew play like season 1 kind of playoffs. Everybody wanted them to see them together in like season 2, especially like Apes really wanted them. I don't think the Glacier was one of them on their team, but not the way it was going to end up if it did come that way. But coming from a Bored Apes owner, but it must be cool to be a fan to not only see that like you guys created that pairing, and now an actual like I'm not going to say an actual another professional. An 11-man professional football league sees the same thing that you as fans saw and are copying it to a T and trying to add things that you guys tried to do in the season by adding other great wide receivers from other teams. I love that. I think that's so cool. I think that's exactly what Fan Control Sports is about, is showing that, hey, the fans can do the job. All right. We can do just as good of a job as any other professional sports league. So keep that in mind. We're watching.
Love to see it, man. Love to see it. All right. Well, we got some more topics for you. It's 3 days now until the World Cup starts. It's coming up real quick. You see it right here. I'm rocking my Mexico World Cup jersey. I'm excited. Let's do some World Cup predictions. Who we think is gonna be getting out of these tough groups. Pick a team to win it all. What do you think, AJ? You got any ideas?
I mean, all right. If we're gonna do, I'm gonna try to pull up all the group stages. But if we're gonna do a team that I really want to win it all, like just off the bat, I definitely want to see Portugal go all the way. To me, I think I've spoken about this on other platforms, but or if not this one as well. I'd love to see an Argentina-Portugal final just to have Messi and Ronaldo, because they're both legends in their own right. And they've both said this is probably the last World Cup they're both going to be in. Like, I know for a fact that Ronaldo has been quoted saying that. I'm pretty sure Messi has as well. So if I want to see something in the end, I would love to see that. I think that'd be a fun way to end it. I want Portugal to win. I'm a Ronaldo fan at heart. I'm Portuguese. I'm going to be rooting for them. I got 3 teams I'm rooting for this year. So, I mean, I'm going to run down my groups real quick. Group A, okay. Netherlands, and I don't know. I think it's a big toss-up. I'm going to go with Qatar just because, hey, it's their country. So why not? Yeah. Let's give them a shot, you know?
Yeah, fair enough.
But, you know, I think Senegal probably has a very good chance at taking it too. So, you know, between the two, probably put my money on Senegal. Group B is my group of death. I think this is going to be a very difficult group. It's hard to see so many teams that I love in this one group. I'm hoping Iran and US get out. In reality, I think it's going to be England and Iran, just because Iran has a Portuguese coach behind it, Carlos Queiroz. And they've shown that they've changed a lot of their dynamics in an international play. They've done well under this coach, and not only that, the coach has been stated saying that he's allowing the players to protest what's going on in Iran. And I think that's something, because he's a Portuguese coach, he's not going to get a lot of backlash. He's going to also protect his players from anything bad happening. I think that's amazing for them. It's going to give them a reason to fight and to show themselves on a world stage. I think that'd be great. But hey, you never know. Group of death. Anyone could upset you. Wales is a great team as well.
Scary.
They're scary.
Gareth Bale, he pretty much did nothing in the MLS all year except for score the equalizing goal in the final.
Except for coming in clutch.
Yeah, Gareth Bale still got it. And I mean, he spent most of the season resting too, so he's coming into this World Cup fresh, where a lot of these teams are missing a lot of players.
Yeah.
The U.S., I want the U.S. I want us to have a good showing in this World Cup so bad. But honestly, like,
the talent on the U.S. team is amazing.
I don't believe in the coach very much. Like, the coach scares me. I think some of the selections that were made for who got to go to the World Cup, not what I would have liked to have seen. Guys like Pepe not making it on the roster. It just doesn't feel right. I don't know if actually the U.S. is going to be able to make it out of this group, because England's getting out of the group, right? I think that's what everybody's assuming. It'll be a huge upset if they don't.
It would be a big upset if they don't.
I think the Welsh team is like pretty scary.
I do too. I think there's weapons in every team in this group. So, Group C, I genuinely think it's Argentina, Mexico. Poland may have a shot, but that would be an upset. I don't know. Thoughts?
I mean, yeah, Mexico, Argentina seems like a slam dunk. I'm going to be rooting for Mexico, obviously.
Right.
And yeah, Argentina, there's no way Messi's not getting out of the group stage in his final World Cup.
Right.
It's just not going to happen.
That would be a wild thing. That would be a wild.
That would be a sad way. Like, I'm not a Messi fan or anything, but that would suck if he doesn't make it out of the group stage.
That's nuts.
Group D, you got France, Australia, Denmark, and Tunisia. I think the safe choice is France, Denmark. I think France is going to lead that grouping. Australia may have a chance.
I'm picking France to win it all. I think they go back-to-back World Cups.
Ooh.
I think they have a
team is
solid
good.
chance. It is a very good team, led by Mbappe. Yeah, it's hard to argue against France, especially the way they've looked in the international stages. They've just been dominant. As far as like Australia and Tunisia, big upsets. I don't think it's gonna happen. Denmark, France, pretty easy to guess.
Yeah.
Group E, we got Spain, Costa Rica, Germany, and Japan. I mean, I think this is another slam dunk. It's Spain and Germany. Like, it's hard to beat those powerhouses. Like,
yeah, I like Spain.
The German team is tough.
Oh yeah, they're always tough. They raise them hard in Germany, so it's even in their language, man. Like, that just sounds like a mean language, you know. Like, they don't sound like they're ever happy. Like, even when they're happy, they just sound angry. So,
wait, now a sleeper pick for that one, only because I'm a huge anime fan. I'm gonna just have to say Japan. Not gonna lie to you, a new anime just came out called Blue Lock. great anime, great with soccer. So who knows? I mean, sleeper.
So you're not wrong there, actually. Like they do have a good lineup. There's a young, I think he's a striker on their team. I'm not gonna attempt to guess the name, but purely like I've heard a lot of good things about this Japan team. I feel like they're young from what I've heard. I'm not gonna really lie. I don't know much about them. I've heard a lot of good things. I think they have more of an opportunity than people are giving them credit for. But it's difficult when you're going up against these powerhouses like Spain and Germany. If Japan was in any other group, maybe. But it's one of those things where like you're going against like the top tier. These guys are in the World Cup every year. Like
yeah.
Then Group F, you got Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and Croatia. Belgium, Croatia is a good choice, but Canada has a great team this year. I think Canada has a shot at getting out of the group stages.
Canada played excellent in their qualifiers at the end. They led our region's qualifiers by a landslide. They were crushing it. And yeah, but I mean Belgium obviously they're like the number 2 ranked team in FIFA. They're making out of this stage. I think Croatia is probably the safer pick, but I'm going to go with Canada. I just think they're really good right now.
I would have to agree with you.
I'm sorry. I'm always hearing Croatia all the time, so I'm not going to lie to you, Croatia. I'm going to have to just hear because I hear about it. I'm going to say Croatia. I'm just going to say Croatia.
Balls out. No, but I'm going to agree with you, Jose. I think Belgium, Canada are probably like a good choice. Like if you're going to go and vote on like a quote unquote underdog team, put your money on Canada. I think they got a good shot. Then Group G, you got good old Brazil. Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland, and Cameroon. Honestly, I'm going to go for a wild one here. I think Cameroon and Brazil are going to make it out. I mean, Brazil's the obvious choice for obvious reasons, but I think Cameroon has always had a good squad. They've always been consistent, and I think that Switzerland and Serbia don't have the teams that they normally do. I think this is a year for them to come out and show, hey, we got players. This is our year. Not entirely like, I'm going to be real. I'm not very familiar with all these guys. There's a lot of players that are from different leagues that I'm not very familiar with, but it's one of those things where like, Serbia has a chance. But my money's on Cameroon, the way they've been playing.
Just going off of like FIFA rankings, these guys are all like right around the same spot. So it's actually this is going to be a group where the number 2 group coming out of this is going to be tough. But Cameroon is, I think, probably the good pick.
Whoa! I'm gonna for surely pick Brazil. Come on now, it's Neymar.
Well, you're right.
I mean, but Brazil, they're obviously getting out, right? But 2 people get out. So who's the other one?
Any good thing anybody hear anything good about Switzerland? I mean, like, hey, I'm not gonna lie, I play FIFA online sometimes, and I see some people get Switzerland.
So, like, the betting odds are saying it's gonna be Brazil and Serbia. That's what everybody's guessing.
Okay.
And the beauty of that is whoever is the second place is playing the first place of Group H, the next group.
Yeah.
Whoever's in second place of that one plays first place in Group G. So Brazil would play the second place of Group H, essentially.
Yeah.
Switzerland like undefeated in their qualifying stage too. Like they're a really good team.
Switzerland's a very heavy sleeper.
Let's see. Yeah, they're ranked like 15th in the FIFA World Rankings. They're a good team. But that's where like pretty much everybody's right there around like 15, 20. Like it's going to be tough to get out of that group.
Freddie Amel, no, you have not missed the Group of Death talk because Group of Death is Group H, the final group. Portugal. Actually, I lied. I totally lied. You did miss it. It was Iran, US, and England. I'm a dirty liar. We're on the final group where it's Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and North Korea. North Korea, good team. But Portugal, Uruguay, I think is the way to go. Uruguay is a perennial favorite usually. And Portugal is they're my favorite. I think they're going to win it all. I genuinely believe that Ronaldo is going to be like, hey, no, this is my year. This is my year. I'm going to win it all. So I don't know. Fingers crossed.
I I don't know, man. I mean, I
got
definitely
the
think they
best
get out of the group
jerseys.
stage, but no, Mexico has the best jerseys, man. These things are sick.
Have you seen our warm-up jerseys?
We were warming up for, man. We're talking about playing. We're talking about jerseys.
Playoffs?
Playoffs.
Practice?
Hey, that's
Talking
how the
about
Braves
warm-ups.
feel. Playoffs don't matter. We got best season record.
Yeah. I don't have my water with me, so I'll just take my water break like this.
Yeah, there it is. Everybody's taking our water break. We're putting the pressure on you, Kyle, to say something. Where's that? What was it? I literally had the name down. What was the name of your show? It was Call It Back.
Well, running back.
There it is. Yeah, there it is.
Back with the bot. But it's got to come back. It's got to come back.
We'll bring it back. We'll figure out a way. To
Yeah,
bring it
we'll
back.
definitely get it back. We have some pull now, I think.
No, yeah, we have.
Yeah, we're the ones who decide like what shows like happen now for sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
military
yeah.
style, baby.
Yeah.
Let's do some more soccer talk because there's some stuff going on. Ronaldo's mad. Ronaldo does not want to be playing for Man U anymore. He does not like being benched. The problem is nobody wants Ronaldo on their team. Nobody wants this guy, or at least nobody that can afford him.
I think that's the better response.
He just went on Graham Norton and had this very strange interview where he just like slagged off his coach, talked crap about the organization, complained about his play time. It's one of the weirdest things I've seen in a long time in sports. AJ, what do you make of this whole Ronaldo situation?
I mean, it's difficult because I love the man. I think I'm going to look at it this way. I think he was promised a lot coming to Man U. Leaving Juventus, coming to Man U is one of those things for him where it was just like there was a lot of promises. He was promised that Ferguson was going to be the exact same way he was when he was a rookie and he was a phenom and he got fed the ball a lot. And what he needed to realize was that that's not the case. And I don't think anybody had the cojones to go up and be like, hey, we're not going to treat you the same way we did when you were 19. Even though we said we would, we're not. You're going to be the leader of the team, yes. But you have to be a leader in the fact that you know when you aren't going to touch the ball. You got to lead the younger generations and show them what you do, because you can't do it as well as you used to or as well as they can. So for him going from I've been the superstar, I am the best mentality to I need to help train the next generation to be the best is difficult for him because I don't think he was ready for that change. Now, the way he's going about it, not the best. There's better ways to do it, more professional ways of handling it. And I love the man. I really do. But I think this is one of those situations where it's just he's too emotional. He's too involved. And he needs to take the microphone away. This isn't professional wrestling. This is professional soccer. And just honestly, if he really wants to show that he's worth the money that he's asking for and the demand that he's worth, he needs to go win the World Cup because he said this is his last World Cup. If he doesn't come back with a World Cup win, I think this is a lot of blister for not a lot of action.
You know, this guy, he's just reached the point in the aging process where he just can't do the things that he used to. And now in the sports asking the people at his position to do more than they did when he was a young player. Like strikers are expected to play defense now. That's not really something he's done a lot of in his career.
I wouldn't.
All he does is score goals. That's what he does. All he does is score goals, and that's just not going to work in the more modern game now. And especially if he's aging out, he's not as fast. You're seeing guys like Erling Haaland enter the league and just score goals like crazy. He's not going to be able to keep up with those guys. It's what we talked about with Russell Westbrook over the last couple of weeks, right? Russell Westbrook finding himself being a bench player and like actually being good in that role and needing to accept that role. Ronaldo sort of needs to do the same thing.
It's the changing of the guard.
The thing is that's really hard to do when you're the most popular athlete on the planet.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
you've had the silver spoon in your mouth ever since you were 10 years old. It's hard to accept that kind of change.
Yeah, understanding that you're a billionaire off of soccer, and you are literally you were the number one player in soccer at a point in time. You were just the best. There was nobody like Ronaldo. You have Messi up there and you have Neymar up there, but if you knew you wanted to get a score, you were down one, you were down two, you were down anything, you knew for a fact, put the ball in Ronaldo's hands, it's gonna get in the back of that net some type of way. With that being said, understanding that he was that, like you said, since 19, that mindset has to change. At this point in time, like you said, the new and upcoming generation, I'm pretty sure they brought him in from Man U, even though they promised him so many things, just for him to be like, hey, look, I want you to now teach the younger generation of how you were able to be this good. So that way, Man U can continuously be this good. And I'm going to just say it. People might not like me for saying it, but I feel as though Ronaldo's having a midlife crisis. He thinks he might still be that guy. Now, not get me wrong, he's still that guy, but you got the newcomers coming in and they're just blowing stuff out of the water. So it'd be great to see what goes on next.
Now I just think Ronaldo is the perfect person to start off FCS, right? Fan control soccer.
Fan control
Imagine him as a player owner, first generation fan control soccer. I would lose my mind constantly. And I think him in control of everything, literally everything, alongside of the fans, of course. But come on, he can help control what the fans choose because he's the biggest dude in the world. That would be. I think that would make him fun. I think that would appease him a little bit. Give him ownership, fan controlled soccer. Yes.
So just check in the last transfer fee that was paid was $17 million. You think we got that? You think we got that in the bank?
No, but you know what? I feel like his offers are going to be dwindling in the next few years. So maybe we can get him in once we've gotten basketball and football settled, I feel like baseball may be next. A lot of people want to talk about baseball. Fans are going nuts about baseball. That may be next. But Josh wants golf too. So I see golf maybe down the line. I don't know. Highlight is also a big one.
Ooh.
But I'm going to try to start throwing in soccer a lot. I just, we got time. Eventually the fan control sports, monopoly will take over what is sports now. So let's just get Ronaldo on board because, he's marketing gold.
The most popular athlete in the world.
And
D's.
AJ, you mentioned basketball. I want to do some NBA talk before we're done here.
Yes.
The Warriors have not won on the road this year so far. Are the Warriors in trouble? Kyle's already shaking his head right now, so I got to know, Kyle, are the Warriors in trouble?
I'm not gonna lie to you. 0 for 7 is just not cutting it. It just ain't. But listen, not gonna lie to you. Jordan Poole had a great season last year. Don't get me wrong, he's still doing his thing, but he's not as good as he was. But it is very early. Right now I think the Warriors, five or something. They've gotten 5 games without Steph Curry throwing a crazy amount of points. You cannot continuously be reliant on Steph Curry. It's just not happening. The defense is just not as great as it was. Draymond Green's getting old. James Wiseman they were looking for him to come back this year after his injury last year to be spectacular. It just ain't cutting it right now. And it's got to change. If it doesn't change soon, it's going to be looking really bad for the Warriors.
Yeah, James Wiseman just got sent back down to the G League. Jordan Poole is, I wouldn't say taking a step back, but he's just not been what he was at the end of last season so far.
Exactly.
Clay has not gotten it together yet.
No.
There's still some questions there. Steph is the bright light on this team right now.
Because, of course.
He's arguably having the best season he's had. If you look at his stats right now, we're talking 52% from the field, 43% from free throw, from 3. He's averaging 31 points a game. He's doing everything that he can to drag the team to victory right now. And when they're at home, things are working. But the young core, on the road, when things aren't when they need to like get something together, they're just not able to do it. And it's I think it's something that they're going to be able to figure out throughout the season. I do expect Clay's not ever going to be what he was on defense anymore. He's just not going to have the lateral movement that he used to have. It's just not going to work. But I expect Clay to get offensively a little bit better than he is right now. He's talked about how last offseason he got injured playing pickup ball. And so this offseason he didn't play pickup at all. And that's normally part of his routine getting into the season stuff. So maybe we're seeing this period just he needs the beginning of the season to get things figured out that he would normally take care of in the offseason. Draymond, again, also just not what he used to be. They need to get something figured out with that young core together. It seemed like they had it figured out at the end of last season, but now if they need to ask these guys to do way more than they did last time. I expect Jordan Poole to be able to get it figured out. I expect them to get the Kuminga kind of thing. Who's going to take that position? Because apparently it's not James Wiseman. Like, honestly, I hope James Wiseman, they're able to send that guy down to the G League and then eventually just trade him. Like, I think that there's a chance. James Wiseman was looking really good when he came into the league, and he's just like, he hasn't been that for the Warriors. Like, I would like to see if maybe on a different system he could be better. I don't know. AJ, what do you think about the Warriors?
All right. I'm going to blame someone you guys haven't even brought up, and that's Steve Kerr. Why? His rotations are terrible. Look at how he's played, especially the last game. He had a 9-man rotation that didn't include Wiseman, Poole, anybody that you guys were complaining about. He literally is relying on his quote-unquote tried-and-true players. Literally, man brought in Andrew Iguodala at the end. Like, come on. Like, this is one of those things where, like, he needs to understand that some of the times, yes, I understand that those guys are your tried and true weapons. They've won you championships, but it's like we said, it's the changing of the old guard. Steph Curry can only do so much alone, but some of these guys like Draymond, he's aging. He can't continue to do what he did like 3-4 years ago. You got to give these kids the opportunity. And I don't think they are getting the opportunity that they would. Like, having Wiseman go down to the G League, I think is ridiculous. I think he doesn't view it as a demotion. He should be angry and he should be asking for a trade, because if that's the way he's going to be traded, he doesn't deserve to be there. I think that's one of the opportunities like another team needs to jump on and go after, because to me, the Warriors seem like they're desperate for another win. They just want to win it all right now, and they're getting upset and throwing their hands up in the air and like, we're not winning. Nah. Let me blame everybody, okay? Everybody else around me but the people that need to pay attention. And that's what Steve Kerr is doing. He needs to allow the kids more playing time to spread their wings. If they're not doing well, hey, focus on what needs to be done in practice, because Jordan Poole, you said, hasn't been having the same season he has. He put up 36 against the Spurs. Mm-hmm. Like, the man is still good. Yes, he may be streaky, but there's reasons why that's happening. And you as a coach need to understand, analyze, and figure out what that is. Because these guys have the talent and they're not being utilized properly to, show that talent. I feel like a lot of players feel that. They're like, okay, I'm here. I can do a lot of these things that you're not asking me to do. And I feel like that's the situation right now. I'm sure like a lot of the younger guys are biting at the bit, trying to get off that bench, but don't have the opportunities.
You don't think that what they're seeing in practice, though, tells them that those guys aren't supposed to be in the starting lineup? Like, Jordan Poole is an excellent scorer. Like you said, he's putting up 30 points in games and stuff, but the guy doesn't play defense.
I might say, defense is the problem.
He's practically a cone on defense. Like, you're like, Moses Moody isn't going to be more valuable to you on the court right now.
Well, I didn't say Moses Moody. Okay. That's a different situation.
Those are the young guys.
I'm saying James Wiseman is probably going to put up like more.
Moses Moody's playing better than James Wiseman is.
I'm just saying, man. I think that this is one of those situations where it's just like, the more you sit down or the more you like demean or like make them feel worse, the worse they're going to play. And that's what's going on, man. I feel like Wiseman, he's getting the raw end of the deal, man. And I feel like Kerr isn't encouraging his boys.
Well, I think by the end of the season, they're going to get it figured out. I think the young players, they're going to get things figured out. I think the old players are going to start to get back in groove. Kyle, what do you think? By the end of the season, do you think the Warriors are playing better basketball?
Honestly, I want to say by the All-Star weekend they should. I'm gonna give it to them by there, because honestly, like we all said, and I think we all can agree, defense just sucks. For lack of terminology, it just sucks. You got Klay Thompson out there, like you said. He's not doing what he used to do. Draymond Green's getting older. Steph Curry, I'm not gonna lie to you, I never really intended Steph to be a defender player anyway. He was there to score points. So with 3 out of the 5 players on the court that can't play defense or aren't doing the best that they can on defense, it's really lacking a lot. And then you pull in another great scorer, when he wants to be Jordan Poole, but can't play defense to save his kids. It just doesn't add up. That's a nutty statement. I know it's nuts. But it's just, and then you got to think about the team morale. I mean, hey, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. The stuff that with Draymond and Jordan Poole, I don't even think that's gotten resolved fully. It's so many things in the background that we don't see, but defense for sure is what we can see needs to be changed.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Fair.
I think we got time for one more topic. Let's make this a quick one. Wakanda Forever came out over the weekend.
Oh, we're not talking about Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you.
We just don't got time. We just don't have the time today, man. I was planning
know
on
what?
it.
This movie.
We'll do both. I'm just
do
gonna
both.
yell at Josh. We'll do both. I'll just
do
tell
both.
Josh. It's fine.
Wakanda Forever came out. Kyle hasn't got a chance to see it, but AJ and I did. I saw it yesterday when I got off work. AJ, I'll let you start. We're spoiler free. No spoilers. No
Okay,
spoilers.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
We're good.
No spoilers.
Um,
Just top level. What'd you think of the movie?
Okay. I'll be brief as much as I can. I thought it was good. It wasn't what I was hoping for as a movie. I felt like the majority of the time was spent like really mourning the loss of Chadwick Boseman's character. I feel like they introduced a lot of characters that didn't get enough explanation that they should have. And I'm gonna say it.
Kyle hasn't even seen the movie. He's already upset with the take.
Bro,
I'm gonna say it.
Go ahead.
Aquaman, their underwater city looks way better than the underwater city that was shown there. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, well, first off, thanks for spoiling a little bit. But second, everyone
How is that spoiling?
I don't know.
He doesn't know who Namor is.
Yeah.
He's in the trailers. You can't. He's literally right next to me. Like what? You can't get mad at me for that. That's promotional imaging.
Okay, I respect that. But I'm not gonna lie to you. Everyone I've talked to so far has said that this is a 10 out of 10 must watch. Best thing they've seen in a long time. And with that take that you just gave me, I'm actually very, very scared to see it on Friday.
Well, here's what I'll tell you. So
I wouldn't be
I also
scared.
saw the movie. I think that this is a great movie that occasionally has to stop and be a Marvel movie every so often.
Okay.
And I think the parts, because
That's fair.
I'm a bit down on Marvel. I haven't been enjoying Marvel movies so much since Endgame. For me, they feel repetitive. It feels too much like I don't get an actual story, and I'm spending a lot of time just they're setting up new movies in the movie I'm watching. I don't really like that so much. I think everything about the story that's going on in Wakanda, everything that's going on, the
You didn't
amazing
feel
things
that
they
this
do
one?
for Chadwick Boseman, I think all that stuff is awesome. I think what they do in that with is really, really good. I think the just like in the first Black Panther, the social commentary that Ryan Coogler is doing with the movie, making this is a movie that Ryan Coogler puts the effort to make a movie for the audience that it's intended for. It's made for Black people, and everybody else can enjoy it too, but he's really trying to make an African focused movie, and I love that. My least favorite parts of the movie are when they have to introduce us to like Riri Williams and stuff, where it's like the only reason she's in this movie is to set up a movie down the line. Like she doesn't.
There it is.
We have to spend time with a new character when I should be spending time with the characters I already know and love, because this movie is, in ways, a memorial for somebody who we lost. And I would have liked to spend more time with the characters who actually had a connection to that character. So that's really my only big problem with the movie.
No, I 100% agree with you. Exactly the take that you're like, it's not, it's a great movie that at points has to stop to be a Marvel movie. You hit the nail on the head with that, because as a movie as a whole, it's great. I think the way Ryan Coogler went to show the emotions amongst like women, especially like Black women, that doesn't get shown in a lot of media. It was great to see it shown in multiple different ways from multiple different women, from a mother to a sister to a lover to a best friend. It was great to see all that emotion. But exactly like you said, I was going in waiting for a superhero movie and got something that didn't feel like a superhero movie. It's a great movie. Don't get me wrong. I totally agree. But you hit the nail on the head. It was a great movie that had to stop and be a Marvel movie. 100%.
Yeah. Namor kicks ass though. Fucking love Namor. He's so good.
I did like this interpretation of him a lot. I will be honest with that. I think he was pretty cool. I don't want to spoil anything, but like it was a very weird, abrupt way to end the conflict is all I'm gonna say.
True. Let's do our last topic. Yesterday, Taylor Swift put out tickets for her tour. There's a big excited. People are excited for this tour. She hasn't toured, since the pandemic. There was a big series of concerts that were planned, canceled because of the pandemic. She's put out 3 albums since then, and now she's going back on. She's going to tour 3 albums at the same time. The Swifties are losing their minds, and when they're going to get tickets, Ticketmaster crashes. Ticketmaster screwed this entire thing up. Tickets on the secondary marketing are going for like $10,000 and more.
Yep.
What the hell's going on?
Okay. So this is one of the few times where I can like go in and be like, so I can pull out my fake suspenders and be like, well, I have experience with this.
This is why I wanted to bring the topic on the show, is because I know you do. We saw a similar thing just a couple months ago with the when you were young, right? There was a big problem with Ticketmasters and on that tour as well.
Yeah. So the big issue is it's pretty much a monopoly. If you don't know what that is, it's not a board game. Go look it up what the meaning is. But essentially, when Live Nation and Ticketmaster became one company and Ticketmaster bought out Live Nation, there wasn't really any competitors on a very large level ticketing experience to combat this now monopoly. So essentially, if you want your tickets to be sold at a large level, and a lot of these venues are connected to it. So all these venues literally like go and sign these deals so that they don't really have to deal with selling tickets. They can just be like, hey, we have this show, handle selling tickets, give us the money. So it's easy to go with the giant. It's like the Disney of music industry live shows. And it kind of hurts the musician because while you guys are all, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, the thing you got to realize is most of it's just fees. And a lot of that money goes to paying, the venue, like staff, the owners, all the beer and food and concessions that need to be done, the lighting guys, the soundboard guys, everyone gets paid to put on the show. And then from there, it goes to the musician. Now, even the musician gets less money because they have to go pay their crew, which is, their roadies, their tour manager, their merch guy, their front of house guy, their lighting guy, and then the last person, and then their manager too gets paid. And then the last people to get paid are actually the artists themselves. So I think this whole thing is messed up. I think it's horrible. Taylor Swift isn't losing that ton of money from it, but I think the fact that she's taking a stand is great. It's one of those situations where the bigger the artist it is, listening and talking for all the fans and the smaller artists, the better it is. Like, this is ridiculous. My girlfriend, I always say my girlfriend because we just got engaged. My fiance was trying to get tickets and she was literally yelling at me being like, they're just leaving. I'm watching them go away. I'm like, you're not a Taylor Swift fan. She's like, I was trying to get one for my friend's birthday. And I'm like, oh, well, good luck. There's no way.
No way.
So it's ridiculous. There needs to be a better way, especially for fans, because they're the ones that are missing out.
Fan controlled ticket selling. Can we do that?
FCTS.
It's one of those times where it's like maybe we do go back to the olden ways where you sell physical tickets at Publix, because like this may make me sound so old, but I remember when I had to go to Publix or the local grocery store and go buy tickets for a concert there if I wanted to buy them ahead of time. If I didn't get it there and they didn't sell it there, I had to go to the actual venue and buy a ticket from them. Maybe we do that.
Even back then, like companies like Ticketmaster still had like a huge amount of control over the industry. Like people probably don't remember this, but like back in the day, Pearl Jam boycotted. They didn't tour for like 3 years, boycotting Ticketmaster.
Yeah,
it's crazy that we still are having this problem, and like.
So the difference is, I have to say this. The difference is back then, a lot of musicians could make the money off of album sales. Like that's because CDs were there. Now artists literally depend on touring. Like as an artist myself, streaming screwed me. I still get like royalty checks every couple, like I think every 4 months I get a royalty check. When I was touring, it was like a couple hundred. Now that I'm not touring, maybe $20 to $50. So it's not a lot. It's not enough to like live off of. So you literally have to go on tour, sell merch. Hopefully the merch would sell. Hopefully ticket sales would sell. If you could sell out, that's the best. Yeah. So they can't just, a lot of bands nowadays cannot rely on just album sales anymore because streaming is ruining the industry. They have to tour and then they have to deal with another monopoly. So
yeah, it's just tough.
It's rough. That's why I don't.
But I think that's gonna wrap it up for the show. We had a really good show today, guys. Thanks for coming along. Thanks for watching it. Remember that you can check this out on YouTube, youtube.com/fancontrolled. After it goes, you can watch this show live on twitch.tv/fancontrolledsports. We do it every Wednesday, 6 o'clock Pacific time. Let us know in the comments what topics you want us to debate about next week. You can tweet at me what topics you want, at Jose Ruckus on Twitter. You can tweet at King Khah on Twitter. Right there, you can see it. Kyle, thanks for coming on the show. You're the first guest on the show.
Of course, man. It's amazing to be here. Can I do a quick shout out?
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, shout out to the brothers of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Our Founders Day is tomorrow. 111 years of us being here. So we were founded in 1911. So it's amazing to have 111 years on giving service, giving back to the community, and doing community work. Also, man, if you guys want to follow me, my name is at Kyle Goodbee on all social platforms, IG and Twitter. I don't have Facebook. I do have Facebook. I don't have TikTok. I don't have TikTok yet. Okay. But honestly, if you want to see a good Apex player or want to watch me do Warzone, follow me at keg__bot. And also, if you follow me on the gram, I have my merch out there. Follow me for Self-Sacrifice and KG. So, thank you. Awesome. I loved it. I had a great time here. Hopefully, we can come back and do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely got to have you. You actually took notes for the show. We don't even do that half the time.
We don't do that. What?
Oh, look, you weren't going to get me on here, and they were like, so what about you, Kyle?
Yeah, but seriously, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week. And until next time, let's keep the ruckus to a minimum.
Don't cause a ruckus. We talking that talk, just spitting them facts. We setting them traps and cracking them back. We got all the news, we know all the stories. We start from the bottom, rise up to the glory. We say what your local reporters can't say. We break down the X's and O's on the play. It's AJ, King, Con, and Jose Ruckus. We call it right on the first take, and they love us. Yeah, we the best when it comes to sports debate. Find the podcast and let it play. If we get you in your feelings, that's okay. AJ and Jose send you on